Neon lights, neon lights. Dashing with my demons, do the dash me out of sight. Run it up, secure the bag.
Hello and welcome to the SoulInsights podcast. I'm Kyle Loxton, joined by
Kyle.
And we're going to be talking about some unusual habits, weird, bad.
People just being outright psychopathic with what they do. To be fair. Yeah.
I got my new sunglasses as well, so I'm going to rock them.
Weird habit. Wearing whatever the fuck this is.
Penis.
Well, yeah, exactly. Although a lot of people do that.
Yeah, let's be
So
one.
it's a bad habit everybody does. Being a massive penis.
We have to get you some of these for snowboarding, though.
Oh, yeah.
Stand out.
Good idea. What? Right. Let's kick things off.
Music recommendation is going to the SI Pod playlist on Spotify. It is Inhaler, Love Will Get You There.
Okay.
I saw them on the weekend just gone and they slap. Little Dublin indie band. Banging.
I have absolutely no idea.
Probably not little anymore, but slaps. I don't think you'd like it. It's just indie music again, so.
Shit.
I just thought, because, I went off to see them. I thought, chuck it in the playlist.
Why not?
Yes.
Yep. Cool.
So there we go. And then moving on, we are doing
Cocktail straight off.
Cocktail of the Month.
Start of March, so cocktail of the month, and I'll just let you run through on this.
So the cocktail is
Pajamas, man. You're the bee's knees.
Bee's knees?
Yeah, the bee's knees. You're pajamas, man. You're the bee's knees.
Bee's knees?
Yeah, the bee's knees. You're pajamas, man. You're the bee's knees.
Yeah, that'll do, and you just spit everywhere as well. So
Pajamas, man. You're the bee's knees.
yeah, you can turn it
Bee's
off
knees?
now.
Yeah, the bee's knees. You're pajamas, man. You're the bee's knees.
Bee's knees?
what is it?
It's pajamas, yeah?
Yeah, the bee's knees.
Right, the bee's knees, because, all of that just was necessary.
Well, I was just going to leave it on loop for about 5 minutes. So.
Yeah, you realise it would have all just got cut out. So, what does the bee's knees consist of?
The bee's knees is a Prohibition era cocktail featuring gin, lemon juice, and honey. The unique name is a convention at the time. Why is that just clocked onto me? The phrase bee's knees is popular slang used to call something excellent or outstanding, if you didn't know. The drink is credited to Frank Meyer, I guess, an Austrian-born bartender who applied his trade at the Hotel Ritz Paris during the 1920s. It's a simple extension of the classic blah 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 that features honey instead of sugar. The honey creates a richer drink, and it may be employed to mask the taste of subpar gin, which was prevalent at the time. And I did say I think you can show off your brand of honey with this drink as well.
Which makes it a bit different, doesn't it?
It consists of, like we said, we measured 2 teaspoons of honey, 50 milliliter dry gin, 25 milliliter lemon juice, ice, and then lemon zest stripped to serve. So you just put it all into a shaker, mix it, and then strain it into a cocktail glass. So it's fairly easy to make. So what's your verdict on it, mate?
It kind of looks like apple cider vinegar in the glass like that.
You just put me off the drink.
But
It probably smells.
it smells... I think it smells quite nice, to be
It
honest.
smells
Sorry.
better in the glass with ice in it like this than it did in the mixer, to be honest. Like the shaker.
It tastes like your mother said to us, like something you drink when you're ill, like a medicine kind of thing.
Yeah.
But at the same time, I'd happily... You shouldn't do this. Actually, no, I probably shouldn't mention it. I was going to say cough medicine tastes quite nice.
Well, that's
But
banging.
you don't sit there and drink it, do you?
Well, maybe.
But yeah, it's
Go to various parties.
quite tasty. I can't actually taste any gin in it, which is just as well because I hate gin.
It's actually alright. Like, I thought like the mixture, just having lemon and honey together just to taste. That sounds a bit of a weird combination,
Yeah.
but
But I do think it'd be better for me anyway with whiskey.
yeah.
So
And I think, like I said to you, it tastes better with the ice as well. To be honest. I
yeah,
think
making it
just
a
being
cold drink. Yeah.
So there you go.
Cool.
What would you rate out of 10, mate? We rated Pink Russian last time, didn't we?
I can't even remember what we rated Pink Russian.
We
so-
didn't try Corpse Survivor either.
No, so we'll do that at some point.
So
but
I would say this maybe like I wouldn't choose to drink this, so maybe like a 6.
I'd give it an elephant out of monkey.
Good. Okay.
Right, moving on. TV, film, game. So
Yeah.
game, I'm not really much to say about this, but one of them has just come out on PS Plus. So it's Horizon Call of the Mountains for the PSVR 2. Obviously the PSVR 2 is out now, which I mentioned last time that was coming out. So it would be cool to check it out, but I don't really have 600 quid to be buying it, and I don't really want to be spending 600 quid to buy it.
Yeah.
So fuck that. Maybe when it comes down in price, but that would be a cool game to check out. But Forbidden West has obviously come on PlayStation Plus Extra now. I think it's on Extra.
Yeah.
So that's definitely worth checking out as well. Film recommendation. I didn't even know this came out until somebody told me, but Die Hard. Have you heard of that?
No.
So it's Kevin Hart, if you didn't already gather, in, I'll say, kind of like a Die Hard situation, but not really. It's more absolute jokes. So spoilers. He wants to be taken more seriously as an actor. He plays himself.
Okay.
Okay.
Yeah.
He wants to be taken more seriously as an actor,
Mm-hmm.
and he goes on to this little school, Action Star School or something or other, and with John Travolta, I think it is, and basically tries to learn how to become an action star. But again, massive spoilers. The entire thing's just one massive joke.
Jack, it's like Kevin Hart humor.
Yes, but you can see like it's him trying to be himself, but it is the whole situation's jokes. You should watch it. It is quite funny. They're trying to make a film of him without him realizing when he's at this school, so the whole thing's like a fake.
Okay.
And yeah, they try and make him basically seem like a little comedy person again, even though that's what he's trying to get away from. But yeah, it's jokes.
Cool. Fair enough. Yeah. Kevin
cool
Hart's
little
pretty
idea.
cool, isn't it?
Yeah. What?
Well, I'll say to you, there was one film that I saw on Netflix recently, today actually, was that We Have a Ghost. Did you see that?
Oh no, it's on my list with
It's got some cool actors in it. David Harbour. It's got the dude from
David Harbour from Stranger
Pain
Things.
and Gain as well, and Black Mirror. I think he's been.
Do you mean the one in Captain America?
Maybe I don't know. I don't watch.
Yeah,
Marvel.
show me the picture.
Possibly him. I don't know. It's just the trailer.
That one.
Yeah, that dude.
Yeah. Okay, yeah, that dude.
That looks quite cool.
The new Captain America. He is.
So,
So
yeah.
he was not the Winter Soldier, the Falcon in Captain America. But anyway, yeah, I want to watch that.
I just thought I'd mention it to you as well.
Right, so TV recommendations. So obviously Last of Us, but we'll go on to that in a sec. The Mandalorian season 3 is out now.
Yeah,
so,
I was talking about that actually.
I haven't watched it yet, but I will.
Fair enough. Yeah, I
think
probably
it's
won't.
weekly episodes, but I'm not entirely sure. But you didn't really get along with it anyway, did you? So I quite enjoyed it, so I'll sit and watch it anyway.
Yeah, because you like Star Wars stuff. And
Yeah.
I think it, like you said, it'd actually be all right. It's just I found the story of it a bit.
You get bored of TV shows.
Yeah.
That's the whole point.
I didn't even finish
Problem.
Obi-Wan, and that would actually be the one I wouldn't have wanted to see. But
Last of Us. So episode 7 was out, and it was from
you say your thing first.
from the Left Behind. So just say spoilers because I can't be asked afterwards. So from the Left Behind DLC, which I've never actually played. I knew what it was, but I'd never played it. So about how Ellie got infected and a little bit more into her like backstory of who she was before.
Yeah,
I suppose or what she did just before she got bit. And yeah, the episode was a bit of a slog. It was a bit slow. And not really much going on, but you said that's what the DLC is like. Anyway.
Yeah, the DLC is a bit boring anyway. I think so. I can't really say too much of like the comparison because I think it is basically the same. It's just rather than one, it's a whole swarm, like typical game thing anyway.
Yeah, the game has to be more interactive though, doesn't it? As I said to you many a time, the TV show is about the relationships instead of the infected necessarily.
Which what we saying from previous comments, I'd feel like I'm feeling the same would be. I personally would like more zombies in it. You can still do a good story with all of that action, to be honest. But it's their decision, I guess. At the end of the day,
Yeah,
I've watched season
on
1.
The characters.
So. I'm tuning out a tad. I'm not gonna lie.
Well, you never know. The ending might bang. So.
Yeah, it might do.
Right.
Mate, use that 500k suit that you said.
Exactly. Yeah.
Just use it for like 10
Which
seconds.
I think is actually that zombie is in the next episode, I believe.
Oh right. Well, you got what was
maybe.
it? 3 left, is it, or
I
2
might be
left?
dreaming that, but
Something like that.
2 episodes left. Yeah. Cool. And we're on to the Dictionary of Obscure Sorrows, read by Chiron and his ridiculous glasses that I can't get over.
You're not gonna take me seriously.
No, I'm not.
I actually really like wearing them. They're really comfy on my nose.
Fuck's sake.
But, right. It is Dictionary of Obscure Sorrows by John Koenig. Chapter 4: Faces in a crowd, catching glimpses of humanity from a distance, and the word is, find out how to pronounce it, Aisha.
Cool.
Do you know how to spell that? It's going to be a troll for you.
I ain't gonna bother. I'm not bothering anymore. You can just do it.
Eisce.
Yeah, I would have said A first. So
This is quite cool. Like it'll throw you to begin with, but at the end it might clock. So the awareness of infinitesimal. I don't even know how you say that word. To be fair.
Infinitesimal.
I can't. It's one of those words like millennium.
Infinitesimal.
I can see it. I can't say it.
Yeah.
Infinitesimal. There we go. Role you play in shaping your own society, knowing that whenever you smile at a stranger, pronounce a word a certain way, laugh at a certain joke, or choose the slightly shinier apple, you are unwittingly helping to construct the world in which you live. A role both vanishingly small, but also somehow daunting, making it that much harder to complain about the traffic, knowing that you are traffic. It's cool, to be honest.
So every single thing that happens,
You're contributing to
there's
life.
essentially a purpose to it.
Yeah.
As pointless as it may seem, like us doing this podcast,
It's great. It's contributing to loads.
there is actually a contribution. So people can't say we're not contributing to society when we do this. So should we just quit our jobs and do this?
Yeah, exactly. That
Yeah,
would be
there you
cool,
go.
to be
Cool.
honest.
Yeah. Even if we don't make any money from it, fuck it.
Just live under a
just
bridge
end it all.
somewhere.
Yeah, exactly. Just be little trolls.
But I like that, saying, like, you can't complain about traffic because you are the fucking traffic.
Yeah, there's
Technically.
40-mile-an-hour buddies. You might be complaining about them, but
yeah.
somebody might be sat behind you when you're driving along with nothing in front of you, being like, "Oh, this person actually sticks to the speed limit. Oh, it's so annoying."
Drive safe.
Drive safe. But yeah, like you might do something that severely pisses somebody else off, but you don't necessarily notice it yourself.
Yeah. You're just, like, contributing, to the whole universe in general, to be honest, because you're all part of everything, like
Yeah,
we said
and
last, with the logic
your
stuff,
whole-
isn't it?
The whole universe is a waste of time, so that
just
means
part of
everything
everything.
you do is a waste of time as well. So, yeah. Cool. Right, are we on to main topic?
Yes. So it's
bad
weird
habits,
and bad habits, is
yeah,
it?
weird and bad. Do you
Or
want
unusual, is it? That's a politer term.
unusual? Yeah.
God knows. Unique.
Do you
Nah,
want
not
to?
unique.
You've got a few like normal bad habits, haven't you? Like the standard, bog standard bullshit.
Should we start off a
things.
little bit more serious then, rather
Yeah.
than bounce between the two?
So yeah, read out the ones that are like normal, like smoking and shit like that.
Shit like that. Right, we'll start off with. Okay, I think I did it in order anyway. So let's do it
Fucking
with causes of bad habits. Yeah, so let's just give it a bit of a term. Now that we know what bad habits are and have some examples, what causes them, scientists have shown that a habit loop involves a cue, response, and reward, which is present in everyone. However, research suggests that you're more likely to fall into this habit loop when you experience negative emotions. These emotions often then become the cues to this habit response. For example, many people report they'll eat more when they are bored or when they are tired. Other people drink or smoke more when they are stressed out. These negative emotions thus act as the cue that connects to the response and reward of our bad habit. Which makes sense.
So I'll say one thing that I do that kind of ties in with it is you get anxious and you might like have like a tick, let's say, kind of thing.
Right.
Apparently I twitch my nose quite a lot. And it's like if I'm not anxious about something, I'll be doing that kind of thing. Like
right.
just moving my nose
But
randomly.
unknowingly,
But
though.
I don't notice it, but it's
Yeah. I mean, sometimes bad habits it is, isn't it? So.
well, yeah. I suppose that doesn't really matter because it's not like it affects anything in a negative way. But then again, most of this won't really. Like when we go to the jokes ones, it's like it's just something stupid that people do.
So yeah, speaking of that then, so when you said you're anxious, so it's identifying your triggers. You may want to consider why you find your bad habits so compelling. Why did you develop the habit in the first place, and what drives you to continue to go back to it? It could be as simple as seeing snacks on the kitchen counter prompting you to eat when bored. Perhaps moving them into the cupboards could prevent you from overeating. Fair enough. Sometimes the trigger for our bad habits can be emotional. Is it boredom, tiredness, or stress? These are things to consider when evaluating what causes your bad habit. So you can think like you said, you already identify your trigger that might make you do it. Like I'd say, I'll probably bite my nails, to be fair, when I'm bored or concentrating. But you just got to identify. But sometimes when you do a bad habit, you're in the middle of doing it, and then all of a sudden you're like, "What am I doing?"
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, you
So
don't realise you're starting it.
Yeah, when you started it, you don't know that you've
Yeah.
done it, which is a bit annoying. But cut out as many triggers as you can. It may help you change your behavioural pattern by going for the triggers themselves. Triggers are the event that kicks off the automatic urge in your brain to complete the habit. This can be anything around us that our brain associates with a particular habit. These triggers, such as who you were with and what is around you, can have an invisible but impactful effect on your behaviour. You can proactively put those snacks in the cupboard. Why are they saying snacks all the time? Or if your bad habit is emotional, you may seek out ways to improve your mental health. This could range from working on deep breathing and meditation to relax more, or you may decide to get professional support, which is fair enough. I mean, do you do meditation?
No.
Every morning, mate. Come on.
Oh yeah, totally.
I do it 15 minutes every morning.
Yeah.
Come on.
Do you actually?
Yep.
Really?
Shout out Russell Brand. I listen to his stuff a lot. Like, he talks all of his stuff, but it's a cool way of getting ready for the bullshit day ahead of you, to be honest with you.
My meditation is in my car when I'm sat there contemplating existence, thinking, do I even want to bother?
Well, I had the music loud enough to drown out those thoughts,
yeah, exactly.
to be honest. But no, I think it's a good way of getting in tune with yourself. But I don't know, meditation's hit and miss with certain people. Some people find it really boring because you can't keep your mind still in one spot. But I think it's really good. But
yeah,
I don't know how you could like trigger your own bad habits though, because it's something that you just do not knowing, isn't it? I don't know.
Yeah, or I suppose if you put yourself
like try
in
not to get more anxious, like how are you meant to stop
well, no,
that?
but you put yourself in situations where you're going to become anxious.
What if you're just an anxious
and then
person,
it causes
though?
it, or you purposely do nothing so that you are bored, and then you're more likely to go and eat something.
That's hard to
Whereas
combine.
you could try and do something, like for you play PlayStation.
Yeah, it's keeping your mind active, isn't it?
Yeah, exactly, and then you're not necessarily thinking about that bad habit.
But then sunbathing, you could just lie there plank position all day. It's weird, isn't it?
Yeah, but you probably listen to music or something, don't you?
Could do, but yeah, we'll actually
So-
catch up on some sleep too.
Or exactly, so you're
don't-
asleep, so it doesn't matter, does it?
Falling asleep.
Fucking hell.
But I don't know. Yeah, but like you said, identify your triggers if you can, and they even said maybe replace it with a less bad habit. You might not necessarily be able to replace it with a good habit, but as long as you identify your bad habit, you know what I mean.
Yeah.
But shall I say a quote? Because this actually is quite a good quote.
Go on, then.
So the difference between an amateur and a professional is in their habits. An amateur has amateur habits, a professional has professional habits. We can never free ourselves from habit, but we can replace bad habits with good ones. And that's by Stephen Pressfield. Because at the end of the day, we all like our butty little routines because we're humans at the end of the day, and we like comfort and all that shit. So if you can replace some of them with something that might improve you, then we're getting somewhere.
Essentially, a bad habit could be, this is going to sound a bit shit, but a bad habit could be your entire existence. Could it not? Like, your
Fuck's
whole
sake.
existence is just a bad habit because you're stuck in a rut,
Well, that,
constantly doing the same thing, and essentially,
what are you a bad
even
habit
if you're
to,
not
though?
happy
The
about
universe.
it,
Because you can't be a bad habit to yourself. I guess that's just bad thoughts, but you're
Well,
a
no,
bad
'cause then,
habit
like-
to what, society?
what? So,
There, are you?
okay, you could say
Lingering.
out drinking, that's a bad habit, but it's not necessarily a bad habit to society. It can be, but it's not necessarily. A lot of the bad habits that
Yeah.
I've got, they're not bad habits to anything else. They don't affect anything. It's kind of in yourself, which is what you could be when you're stuck in a rut.
But could you link bad habits with bad influence then? So say like you only drink more if you're with me or something.
You could.
I
yeah.
could say I'm
that's
technically a
put-
bad habit to you, but I'm
Okay.
technically could be a bad influence as well.
No, so I'd say that's putting yourself in the situation. You're putting yourself in not the anxious situation, but you're putting yourself in a situation, being with a person that brings out the worst in you.
Right. So that's your fault
than
initially
being,
anyway.
yeah, rather than you, because you could just be like, right, no, I'm bad when I'm around you, so I can't be around you, kind of thing.
Yeah. Which again goes to when they do songs like Bad Habit could be a girl that you're seeing or something, isn't it?
Yeah.
You're my bad habit. Because I know I shouldn't be with you, but I like going there unintentionally as well.
So-
like you just keep going back to them.
Yeah, your bad
what you
habit. Yeah, going back to your ex or whatever.
Personifying that word in a way, isn't it?
Yeah, you and your fucking glasses.
You love my glasses. Bad habit wearing these, is it? It's
Right,
going to be my safety barrier, you know what I mean? Should I just do a quick list and that's all the serious shit done
Yeah.
then? So this is going to be bog standard. You probably won't say too much, but it's common. List of common bad habits you might want to break. It's about 13. So gossiping, overindulging, lying, too much television, nail biting, living to impress others. It's probably one of the biggest one. Failing to say no to things you dislike, staying in bad or toxic situations, cutting corners to finish tasks early, making decisions while you are angry, eating poorly, poor money and savings management, and overthinking. So I'd say the big ones there could be overindulging, overthinking, and probably just living to impress others, or saying no when you want to say no as well. So, I mean, living to impress others is a bit mad, isn't it? I mean, that's a society thing as well.
Oh yeah, that's what everybody
Anxious
does,
and
really.
everything.
Isn't it?
Yeah, I mean, you can share stuff with others. You don't necessarily need to impress them, though. You know what I mean?
Why
So
not?
don't
Yeah.
bother doing that. Just impress yourself. I know that could be even harder. So
You do you.
yeah, exactly. Would you agree with them? I mean, they're
I think so,
bog standard,
yeah.
aren't they?
Yeah.
I mean, gossiping. I mean,
shit.
that's what we're doing. Just gossiping right now, doing bullshit.
Pointless shit. Yeah, bad habit podcast.
Bad habit's sick. It's actually the only probably way why we talk.
Bad habits.
So the rest of the week, just silence.
Bad habits out in the trees. Go and
Oh,
check it out.
That was banging.
Yeah,
Oh,
exactly.
that was Bad Habits, wasn't it?
Yeah, but
I
isn't
can't
that the
remember
one?
my song.
That's the one that couldn't even be on the album, isn't it? Yeah, so you'll have to go on YouTube if you want to listen to that. I think it's on YouTube. Yeah, because we made a video, so yeah, it's on YouTube.
Yeah.
Right, so let's go on to some more jokes things then.
Yeah, so let's just
So-
switch it up. So that's like, it's self-explanatory, a lot of that anyway, but you may as well cover it just because it might be something out there. I would say maybe let's look into meditation possibly if you feel like you could do that, or something that calms you down a little bit.
Yeah.
And you can, that starts your little point of identifying your flaws at least and bad habits, and then you can work on it from there. You just might need that little moment of clarity for you to actually go, what's wrong with me?
Nah, just own them. Just be like,
Rather
yeah,
than just
this is
plod
wrong
on
with
through,
me,
just-
fuck it.
Yeah, like Eeyore or something.
Right, my first one is something that somebody at work told me they do, and I've not been able to look at them properly
okay.
ever since. And if you're listening, you know it's you, and you know I still don't approve. So microwaving ice cream.
Wow.
It says on here to make it soupy.
Nah. Take your dentures out.
It's too cold in the first place. It's too hard. You can't get into it. So just leave it on the side for a little bit, maybe. Or the thing was, they'd say they'd put it on crumble and then stick it in the microwave afterwards. It's like, it's going on crumble. Surely the crumble's hot enough to just melt it a bit anyway.
It takes half of the word out, doesn't it?
Ice.
Just is.
Yeah. No, it's just, I can't get over it, honestly. Just, it's wrong.
I know some people do it because
it's wrong.
it's like if you have like a Ben and Jerry's, you do it like quickly just so you can actually get the spoon in. I think, is it?
No.
Because the patience is like
No.
non-existent.
It's all part of the experience.
Oh, okay.
You just get a knife. Just get a knife and cut it.
What, just knife and fork
cut
and
it.
start cutting little chunks out.
Yeah,
of it.
exactly. Just take all the wrappers out so you've got a chunk of ice cream, and then
Yeah.
just get your knife and fork and start cutting, and then bite into it.
I think quite a few
Fuck it.
people probably would do that,
That's
but
wrong.
nah,
Fuck them all.
well, I'm just gonna put up ice cream in the microwave now just to piss you off. I'll leave it in the microwave as well.
Yeah, you realise you'll take it out, and I will pick it up and throw it against the wall.
I'll probably put it in the microwave so much that it starts bubbling all over the bowl and just leave it.
Yeah,
that smell.
exactly.
Right, okay. Am I going to keep doing some, or do you want to do a couple? Should I just do it?
Just go one on one.
Okay. I measure time in music sometimes, thinking it will take me 2 songs to get to somewhere. And some other people say a comment, I do that too, which is banging. That's a
So-
cool way of measuring time.
I do it. Yeah, it's all well and good until you realise that it should only take you a few minutes to get somewhere, but it's only been half the song because it's actually like a 10-minute song
Right.
instead of a 2-minute song. And sometimes you'd be like, oh, it only takes me 2 songs to get there. And somebody'd be like, we've played like 6 songs. So it's like, yeah, my 2 normal songs are like 10 minutes each, though.
It can be a bad thing as well, to be fair. Like, especially driving, you want to try and get somewhere by the end of the song.
Yeah, so you put your foot down.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm not saying that I've done that. But
No, definitely
it
not.
can be a bad thing as well. But
Well, yeah, so bad habit. It takes into it, doesn't it?
yeah, but that's a bit more mad. I think if I think just gauging that, like, oh, it takes you roughly maybe 5 songs and you be at work or something, or
So, in order for me to get to from my house to yours, yeah,
all right, yeah,
it takes Paradise 2 without the talking at the end, and Intermission to get here.
banging.
I can play those 3 songs, and I will
that's 3
get here
songs
when the
as
song
well.
finishes, as long as I don't get stuck behind a 40 mile an hour.
Yeah, and you have to add in
penis.
a little interlude then.
Then I have to add in the talking at the end of Paradise 2.
Maybe you have
yeah.
to add in like the whole Last of Us series.
Yeah, exactly.
But yeah,
Right.
if you do that as well, fair enough, because you're pretty cool. So I'll do that.
It's something I think a lot of people do. Right. So my husband has the habit of being in his outside clothes all the time, t-shirt and jeans, and he was fine with it. So you're like sat in bed or on the sofa or something, and you're in your jeans. It seems wrong. I know a lot of people do
I
it.
do
And I'll
that.
probably get hate for this.
Just
but-
falling asleep fully clothed. Did he say?
Yeah, but in jeans.
Or
You're in
jeans?
joggers normally, aren't you? So
Yeah.
that's
Cozy.
acceptable because
about if
essentially
you're-
you would wear them sleep, wouldn't you?
On a night out and you pass out.
I suppose that's a bit different,
Even
but
your jeans.
to be going every single day, get home from work, and just be like, I'm just going to sit here in my jeans.
Yeah,
That's
fair
weird.
enough.
It doesn't seem right.
But then, okay, that links to like the clean bed and stuff. You know, some people, they would rather shower in the morning or at night.
yeah,
What are you? Night.
night.
Because you get into a clean bed and then when you get up, you make yourself dirty throughout the day. That threw me because I was like, I'm a morning person because I need shower to wake me up. I need something like chucked in my face.
Yeah, but then in that case, why does it matter if you're going into bed dirty? Okay, I'll make your bed dirty, but you're washing in the morning anyway, so you're clean during the day when you're actually out.
But then you're getting dirty throughout the day probably. And it depends on how dirty you get, but just a bog standard day where you're not doing like labour or stuff or anything like that.
Yeah.
You're going to be kind of dirty just for the day, aren't you?
Yeah.
Like, you know when you go to London, like you just...
Yeah,
So-
sweaty and horrible. But
Which
I
makes sense.
I get
So
up
it's like
way
that,
too
the clothes,
early.
isn't it? You're going to have dirty clothes. Why do you
Yeah.
want to get into a clean bed?
Yeah.
So it's that same sort of logic, I guess. But
I get up way too early, and my house is far too small to go having a good old wash in the morning
Good
because
old
it'll
sing-along.
it'll wake everyone up.
that's good. isn't it?
So
Rise and shine.
Exactly.
Time.
right,
But yeah, that's just same thing, I guess. I have the weirdest impulses sometimes. Like if I'm holding someone's baby, I'm like, what if I threw it out the fucking window?
intrusive thoughts.
It says this is incredibly common. Everyone does this actually. Intrusive thoughts. I tend to think, how much can I key this car? Fair enough. So I reckon we should do intrusive thoughts as
Yeah,
a whole
so
pod.
you're driving along and there's like a hill or a cliff edge next to you, and you're just
Well,
like,
if I just
what
send
would happen
myself-
if I just drove off?
Yeah, everyone must have intrusive thoughts,
Yeah.
but some are
Some
obviously
more
more extreme.
savage,
Yeah,
yeah.
if you're quite dark sense minded anyway, then or dark humoured at least, then it's
Yeah.
going to be stuff like once if I drop kick the baby and stuff. But yeah, no, that's
Right.
fair enough. That's a bad habit. I guess you shouldn't really have those thoughts because that's fucking mental.
Yeah, bad habit, intrusive thoughts.
Yeah, fair enough.
Right, I didn't even consider this being a thing in the first place, but I eat the skin on kiwis. That's how I was taught, and apparently that's where most of the nutrients are. But my husband thinks I'm a weirdo.
Right.
Why
That is.
the fuck. I don't even like it
I
when
don't
I'm
know
eating
if I know
it.
someone who does that.
I don't like it when my tongue touches the fucking outside. It's horrible.
Little furry
You get,
testicle.
it's not even that. It's you get all the little bits like falling off of it, and they sit on your tongue, and then it feels like you licked like a
But-
cow's arsehole or something. Not that I'd know what that feels like, but
I just think like if it hasn't been properly washed, you're just munching on it. Like it's the outside of something, isn't it? It's just
yeah. Would you eat the outside? Would you eat the peel of an orange
some people
or the
must.
peel of a banana?
And a banana, yeah. Some people must. I was about to mention like the banana. I swear some
Weird.
people just eat the whole thing. And I said, if it's in a shell of something, I'd eat what's in the shell, personally. Isn't it?
Yeah.
But you could eat the
But
outside,
then you eat the
I
skin
guess.
of an apple. so
Exactly.
why is it any different?
God, that's a minefield, that, isn't it?
Yeah, exactly.
But yeah, the kiwi. It's just because like you said, it's weird texture as well, to be honest. Like, you'd rather just
Yeah.
get a little spoon and scoop it.
Yeah, but then a raspberry.
yeah, exactly.
Raspberries are fluffy on the outside, aren't they?
Imagine
like
trying
they're
to just
furry.
eat the inside of a raspberry,
Yeah.
just peeling apart each individual little berry.
A gooseberry. That's basically a hairy
Strawberry.
grape.
Any berry. You wouldn't just dissect it, would you?
Well, no, but some of them are a bit weirder on the
Apple's
outside,
probably a good
aren't
shout, to
they?
be fair, because that's just, yeah.
Yeah, so why is it okay to eat the skin of an apple but not the skin of an orange? Or the skin of a pear
Or kiwi.
you can eat? Yeah.
Or lychee. Do you reckon you could eat them? What are they called, lychees? They're
Yeah.
so different, though, aren't they? But imagine that's like solid outside. If you
just
eat that, that's mad.
Eat the skin of a coconut.
If you've got teeth of a fucking... Right, fair enough.
Go on then.
Okay. Okay. I consistently talk to myself and practice scenarios in my head. So that's
I think everybody does that. I think that's just like a normal thing.
you can mix a lot of them together, I guess. Overthinking anyway is just an overall subject. Or if you've got like social anxiety and things, isn't it? You plan out already what something's going to be like, even though you haven't done it.
Yeah.
Which is fair.
Yeah.
Or an argument, you think of a slapper comeback like 3 hours after the argument. You're like,
Yeah.
for fuck's sake, why did I not think of it then? So you just, yeah, you're planning out like maybe possible arguments. Like me and you, if we're about to have an argument, you'll plan out all the different ways how we would say something.
Plan out how we can rinse each other, basically.
Yeah, and then it just turns up and you don't actually get into an argument. And it's like,
Yeah.
good use of time that. So yeah, I think, like you said, everyone has that, I think. Talk to yourself and practice scenarios. Just to keep yourself aware on your toes, I guess, is it?
Oh, yeah.
Just overthinking yourself into pointless.
Right. Cupping water in your hands from the shower, then dumping it all out like a giant waterfall.
I saw that.
Like you'll cross your arms or something, and you can see it all building up, and you just remove your hands. So I have it. It would be. You'd find it on like TikTok or something. It'd be for the boys. The sound when the water hits the ground, like you know when people
sake.
like throw like an icicle in the air and when it hits the ground, it makes the nice shatter sound, doesn't
Yeah,
it?
and
so
it's
it'd be that
watching
the
it, though.
slap of the water hitting the ground kind of thing.
Really?
it's weird, but it's
The ice
it's
gets
quite
me more
cool.
than the water, I think, because it's
Yeah,
just
but it's
the
the
shattering,
it's the
isn't it?
same it's the same
Yeah.
idea. It's the same concept. That's what I'm looking at.
Just
it there.
watching something impact the floor, isn't
Yeah.
it? Just some destruction of some sign.
Right.
That's fair enough.
That was it. Yeah.
I can't remember the last one. Maybe, probably just drunk some point, probably just messing about.
Pointless shit.
Well, I do this one as well, so I'll relate to it. When I'm listening to music in public, I can only really have one earbud in my ear at all times. I need to be aware of my surroundings. I only put both in if I'm on a bus or a plane. And someone says, I work like this in the office, part courtesy as well, and part for me. So I would do it out of like politeness as well, to be honest, because I always think if you have two in, don't fucking talk to me, you know what I mean?
Okay, so I do it as well. So at work, I'll only ever have one in.
Yeah.
But if somebody comes to talk to you, right, A, do you stop your music?
Depending what the conversation is.
Okay. And B, would you take your earphone out?
Depending who it is.
Okay. So
If I'm talking to you, I might still have something playing in my ear, but if it's someone new appearing, I'll take it out to show that, like, okay, I'll talk to you, isn't it? Just to show a sign. That's why I quite like the ear. What are they called? Earphone things that have the little dangly things. I
Right.
can't have the ear pods because it has to stay in your ear. Otherwise, you just have to cup them in your hand like some sort of bollock, don't you?
And I shall have them like connected to an earring. Like one of those.
What's that? Oh my god.
Exactly. I was going to say something, but I can't. But I'll do it. So if I'm speaking to somebody that I'm constantly speaking, like I speak to all the time, like a friend, at work, then I'll leave it playing if it's only something quick. If it's not, like I'm actually having like a conversation, then I'll pause it. I'll leave my earphone in 9 times out of 10 though. It's only if it's going to be like a prolonged conversation that I'll take it out. So on mine it's AirPods, so I double tap it and it pauses it. So if somebody comes to talk to me, it's like I double tap it, and that's kind of their cue to then talk.
That's weird, isn't it? I'll just whack it out instead of dangle off my shirt.
Yeah, see, if you've got wired ones, then it's a bit easier. But
like OG ones. I guess I'm like behind the times though, but I just feel like they're a bit easier and more practical. Just letting them.
yeah,
just
I
hang,
get that.
You know what
but
I mean?
like, I leave my phone on the desk and I walk around with my earphones because I can't be bothered to have it in my pocket or like have the wire dangling around everywhere. So it's easier with AirPods. Yeah.
But when you're walking around, having just one and check your surroundings, because you never know who some penis on a moped might like mug you or something. I don't know. I always just have one in just because
so you are more aware. It's a lot better. Yeah.
I wouldn't necessarily, because you quite like people watching, wouldn't you? I'd say, but I'd probably listen more than look at people.
Yeah,
I'd just kind of hear out for like random things. I mean,
yeah.
You tune out a little bit. It's like selective hearing, so you're more in tune with what you're listening to. But you've just got it there just in case, like a siren's there, and it's about to mount a curb, and you can hear it or something, isn't it?
So I'll do 2 in this. So the first one is turning down your music in your car so that you can see better.
Yeah.
Yeah, which is bog standard, isn't it? Like, I need to park, I need to pay a bit more attention. If I turn down the music, I'll be able to see where the next car is better, because that's how it works.
I don't think I'd do that, but yeah, I understand.
I turn down the music, so essentially you're driving in the dark and you turn down the music and then like squint your eyes and you can see better.
I would do it if
Like,
I'm parking like in a built-up area, because normally I have my music fairly loud, so it's just so I'm not going outside the window. Who the fuck is that? Yeah.
And completely switching off while driving.
Okay.
It's like you've got from A to B, but you can't remember how you got there, kind of thing.
Especially it goes hard on commuting.
Yeah.
That sort of feeling, I guess, isn't it?
We definitely don't do that.
So you just sat there going, how the hell did we just get here?
It's like, hang about, I'm at work. I don't remember any of that drive.
Yeah, fair enough.
But yeah.
I mean, motorways you could probably zone out a bit as well, isn't it? I mean, you've got to drive safe.
You've got to pay attention. Mind what you're saying,
but it generally is a straight line. You could drive like 40 miles and probably not really notice what the hell's
So
going on.
this is other people's bad habits, it's not ours.
Well, hypothetically, isn't it? Okay. Sometimes I find the floor much comfier than my bed. I'd just be laying on it for no reason, even though my bed is right there. And then he says both my kids do this. They go through phases where every so often they will sleep a couple of weeks on the floor. So...
Right,
I was going to link it back to something, but I'll let you say something first.
The cat, okay?
Right.
Oh, the dogs do it as well, but the cat, this specific example from the other day, the Trampy the cat, he's a bit old now, he's blind, and he don't really know what he's doing, but he has this bed that's in a specific place, and he stopped going there, but then he wanted to keep going there again, so we put down blanket and that again, but instead of going and lying on the blanket, which he knew was there because that's where it would normally be, he went directly next to it, sat on top of a shoe and went to sleep. As if that was more comfy than the blankets that were approximately 20 centimetres away from him.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So we got animal instincts then, you said.
Well, yeah, there you go.
Because would you prefer to sit on the floor as well? Which I reckon that's more of a kid thing. But I feel like I could fall asleep on the floor or sit on the floor rather than a chair, though.
It's more of a kid thing.
Yeah.
But I understand why adults do it as well, because I'll sit, like, you got the sofa, and sometimes you'll just sit with your back against the sofa, but you'll be sitting on the floor instead of just sitting on the sofa, which is behind you.
Maybe it's like the inner festival, because like you just sit on the floor anyway,
just
isn't it?
Literally sit anywhere. It's like sleeping anywhere.
I would always associate the bed with sleeping. I wouldn't necessarily like sitting on my bed all the time, because I'll probably end up just falling asleep, just because your body's like, oh, I'm on a bed, let's just sleep. So rather than just sit on the floor, like distinguish it by its thing. Like a chair, obviously, is what you should do, I guess. But I don't know. Like as a kid, I'd imagine doing that. Like, I remember every time seeing Dad, the sofa would be there, but we'd all be sat on the floor watching TV. But I guess you do it as a kid, but it's kind of stayed with me. So I could probably say if we were to get a place, there'd be a sofa there. I'd just be sat on the floor.
Just have some deck chairs.
Get those things, the desert, those little cushions. I'll just have that whole layout on the floor and keep it a vibe. Yeah.
Be alright, wouldn't it?
Like this sofa, like just take the cushions off and just sit on them on the floor. Yeah, I'll do that.
Easy. Right. This one is quite deep when you think about it.
Right.
Thinking you can easily do something that someone else has done, even though there's no chance you could.
Yes, that's a toxic trait as well, I think.
Yeah,
Thinking
like,
that everything looks easier than what it is.
Like somebody doing, like, I don't know, a long jump record. You're looking at it thinking, that ain't too far. I could do that. Oh, look, they're snowboarding. Oh, they're just going down a hill. I could do that. A lot of people do it, because I've seen comments where people are like, oh, I've been snowboarding for a year and I can finally do this. People are in the comments like, how has that taken you a year to do? And it's like, okay, you do it.
Yeah, exactly.
And see what you'd be like, because it is a lot harder. Like skateboarding as well. You're not just going to get on it and do an ollie straight away, are you?
It's like professionals just make it look so second nature as well, but you know that they've probably put like at least 10 years graft into it, isn't it?
Yeah.
To make it look so smooth and natural when they're doing it.
It's like, let's take driving.
Right.
Think about how difficult it is when you actually start.
We're learning, isn't it? All those lessons.
How many things you have to think about at the same time, and you're thinking, how am I ever going to be thinking, like, to check my mirrors whilst I'm pulling out, and changing gear whilst I'm doing it, and pulling the handbrake off, and putting my feet, like changing them from the clutch to the brake and the accelerator and all that. But then once you're obviously doing it, once you've got into it, it's easy. Like you can make it easy. Like you can see how things are second nature, but then you can also see how things are difficult at the first place. So professional footballer.
Rally driving as well.
Okay, let's take rally driving. Yeah, let's take rally driving. I feel
like I could send myself on a track.
So they know exactly when to turn, and they know they're turning like 100 feet before the turn. Whereas you'd get to the turn, 5 feet before the corner, you'd turn, and you'd be going in a straight line straight off a cliff.
Yeah. You got to build up for it and be prepared for everything, I guess, isn't it? That's the toxic trait of me, feeling like you could just put your foot down and attempt it.
Feeling like you can do something that you have no business doing.
Yeah. I think someone said to me, linked to the music, I said, I should be quite proud in a way where I just released all these albums and things like that. But I said it feels like it was quite straightforward, you know what I mean? But it's kind of just like, well, tell someone else to sit there and write a load of stuff.
I couldn't do any of that.
Which blows my mind, because I'm like, it didn't, I don't know. It's, so similar, I guess, isn't it? Not saying it's anything professional, it's just the fact that you've done something, even like the snowboarding, I guess, isn't it? Like you've seen the graft of it, and you're kind of just like, I'm trying to tell someone else to do it, and it's kind of like, I don't know what, like you said, with the willpower or the, you're just laughing at me, trying to be serious.
That's your glasses.
Trying to be serious. I wear them every video.
And a fucking yellow hoodie as well. It just makes sense.
It's trying to I don't know where I was going with it, but I just said like I said to you, just tell you, do you want to make a 24 song project? I'll give you a year. Yeah. And you just tell me to do one. Or like, you don't know where to start, sort of thing, isn't it? I don't know.
No, it was, do you want to, and you were like, do you want to make one video? And then all of a sudden it's, let's make 20.
But even that, I guess, you're trying to tell someone else to go out and record all those videos. Yeah. To us, it seemed quite just, it didn't seem too demanding, or it didn't seem too difficult. Yeah. I mean, there's always room for improvement. You can always do it. But the initial telling someone to go, you're going to make 20 videos.
Out in the trees.
Procrastination, all that stuff. And another bad habit. But.
Right.
Okay. Oh shit, I've lost my place. You can talk to him a sec.
2 hours later.
Okay, no, it's not much. Well, I live in my imagination, meaning if I imagine a scenario or even remember something from the past and relive it in my head, I'll physically react to it or like say something out loud. I used to do that. Now I've learned to be more discreet. Unless I'm in nature, then you can wow. So yeah, I'd say I relate to that a lot. So you imagine a lot of scenarios in your head. You pan out the whole situation, and you've actually reacted to how you would react to your imagination.
Yeah, like you might be sat there, even like
I'm really happy all of a sudden,
like giggling to yourself and stuff like that, and it's like, what the fuck is he doing, kind of thing.
Yeah, but that's just thinking of a random memory, I guess, isn't it? And then you're
Yeah.
trying to act normal, but that's like you're panning out a whole situation. So even like, say if we book snowbombing, linked to these glasses, obviously. But I'd imagine how our festival week would go like before we've even gone, and it put me in a good mood because I know we'd have jokes
Yeah.
already, and then I'm just randomly
you
happy.
go in a shit.
But then you just go around happy because then you just put yourself in a good
Yeah.
mood for no random reason.
So it can go the other way.
It can
as
go
well.
the other way.
So
yeah.
you can put yourself in a shit mood because you're thinking of something in a negative way.
Yeah.
Which I relate to a lot.
Yeah, I would
Yeah.
as well, to be honest. But you got to have these little things that I guess lined up. So you
Yeah.
got something to put you through all the bullshit that kind of overwhelms you. But I'd say, yeah, I wonder how many people can relate to that, though. It depends how active your imagination is. I just feel
Yeah.
like it can link to daydreaming as well. A bad habit could be you daydream too much,
Which you do like mad.
which again is the
Yeah.
you're thinking of other scenarios that you'd rather be in than the one you're in.
Mhm.
The bottom line, dark truth to that. But not this. I'd rather be here doing a podcast.
Exactly.
Talking about some random. I mean, the stuff we'd talk about being a bit more mad, but
Jokes. Right. This is British people at its finest.
right.
Okay. Nodding or smiling at people when you walk past them.
Fuck's sake. And the scrunched up lip thing.
It is, yeah. Oh, you put your head down if you don't know them, and you put your head up if you
Yeah.
do know them, and yeah.
Is that a bad
And,
habit?
like,
Maybe.
smiling.
Bad habit of politeness.
Yeah, I suppose it is a bad habit because that's your way of like acknowledging them when you could do more.
Yeah.
Maybe. You could be like, "Oh, hi, how's your day?" Like, "Oh, nice weather." Like, or your other typical British things that you'd say. But instead, you just like, yeah, you're just doing that little,
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, the little nod.
the bare minimum to get by without it being awkward.
That is like more of a British thing, I guess, because you're still trying to be polite, but you just don't have to say anything. I guess it's like what we mentioned, the customer service as well, isn't it? Where you don't need to ask them how their day is. You wouldn't care, would you? So you just go, "Oh, you right? Yeah,
Yeah,
What you want?"
exactly.
Boom. But when the Americans came over here, I think they said they actually like the British culture because of that. But then when we went over to Vegas, I quite like that customer service because it throws us off, isn't it? Going,
Hey,
"Jen,
how are you going?
yeah, you actually give a fuck about me? What?"
Yeah. Well, they don't. They just
But yeah,
ask
exactly.
it
But
because
it's nice
they
to
get
feel like,
tips.
false sense of hope.
Yeah, exactly.
Right. Asking people to smell or taste gross things we just experienced. Misery loves company. So you smell something shit and you make me smell it as well because I've got to suffer with you
Oh yeah,
That-
I mean,
and taste something grim
Yeah,
like
it's-
that, like the cocktail.
yeah, I was
Well,
gonna
no,
say
it
that.
tastes
it's
alright,
more
but
banter, isn't it? Though,
If it
like-
was terrible, I'd make you taste it anyway, just because you just got to experience the same thing as me, which is fair enough.
Yeah,
Could be a
that
bad
is-
habit because you didn't necessarily need to do that. Put yourself through that.
No, so I can't. I saw a quote the other day that was something linked with that, but I can't remember what it was. I don't even know if I'm gonna be able to remember. Like,
It is quite cool though. Like
Vaguely.
misery loves company as well is a cool phrase. I like that.
why are you? It's like, why are you being horrible to somebody? Why aren't you just saying like, oh yeah, don't do that. This is what will happen. Instead, you choose the toxic way of being
peer
like, oh
pressure and that.
yeah, go on, do it. Like
Mm.
they're saying they'll do it, and you're like, yeah, go on. It'll be funny to see what happens, won't it? Instead of, no, that's probably a bad idea.
Yeah.
Don't do it.
But then that's all linked to curiosity could get you killed then, isn't it? Because
Curiosity
everything,
killed the cat.
yeah, everything's out of curiosity, isn't it?
Yeah.
So like you always,
Yeah, so you
Interested
say
to
on,
see.
oh no, don't try it. That's horrible, and I'll be like, well, now I'm gonna try it because I need to see how bad
yeah,
it is.
it's like a road accident. You don't want to see it, you don't need to see it, but part of you wants to see what it looks like, I
Yeah.
think. But then you look at it going, oh, I shouldn't have looked. But
you,
that
you don't
curiosity,
need to see it.
yeah.
You want to see it.
Which in a way meditation helps that.
Okay.
Just saying, I'm going to promote it.
Right,
But it helps that urge of wanting to know something that you shouldn't really. But
I
yeah,
don't have any more, so.
right, I've only got that one.
Oh, okay, that's all right then.
which is shorter than what it looks. So, acting as if liking something that everyone likes makes us unique and is an important part of our personality. For example, liking Star Wars doesn't make you a nerd anymore, and even if it's your thing, it's also kind of everyone else's thing now. So just when you like something and you make it your whole life.
Yeah, I suppose, but at the same time, why does it matter? If you like something, then okay, fair enough.
I guess
like,
if you're trying to make
just
everyone
enjoy
else
what
like
you want,
it, though.
then it's a problem. So
if I like something and you clearly
this is
didn't,
just sort of thing we get cancelled. But like, I'll just say,
oh yes, watch what you say.
Jehovah's Witness as an example.
Right.
Obviously, they preach and push religion when people might not necessarily want that.
Right.
If somebody came to you preaching religion, you wouldn't necessarily want to hear it, would you? You'd be like, oh, it's not my thing. Okay,
yeah,
it's yours.
Well, the monk that approached us,
get
remember,
along with
gave
it.
a free little book. I think I still got it somewhere. But it's obviously, telling you to do stuff.
So that's the worst one, people trying to push their beliefs on you. So I suppose you
guess
could
that
say
might
that.
be, that could go down a whole other thing. But I guess it's like, I don't really know, because like you said, it is your thing. Because I said, if you like Star Wars, like Mandalorian, and you really liked it, that was your whole life. I guess the bad habits, you're trying to make me watch it and really enjoy it and try and get on the same wavelength as you. But then,
when it's not going to happen necessarily, is it?
Yeah,
So
I don't know. I think it's just making it your whole. I don't really know. I don't really.
it's a bad habit to make your world revolve around that one thing.
It doesn't mean too much.
Yeah,
I see what you mean, actually.
But then it also, like, you end up relying on something too much.
Yeah.
And then it can cause you problems. If you just like it and, like, it's a big part of your life, but, like, it's just there, then it's all right, I think, as long as it's not going to cause you any problems because you're obsessed with it.
Yeah, become too obsessed with it that you're not really doing it. You lock yourself, like, into it.
That is the only thing you focus on.
Unless you get job opportunities out of it. So if you like Star Wars so much, you end up being an extra because you're so into it.
Yeah.
But if you're just so into it that you just, like, have all these, like, I don't know, to be honest. Just do you, to be honest. You don't need to push it onto anyone else. Just if you want to be obsessed with something, then
exactly. Because I'm a do me, homie.
There we go. I think that's it.
Yeah. So
what would you say your main? We haven't discussed that one actually. What's your main bad habit that you do? The anxious.
Getting anxious and I'll say fiddling.
Fiddling. What are you fiddling?
Not. Yeah, exactly. Like having to have something in my hands and that kind of thing. Like I can't keep still. Like even at the moment, I've got my phone in my hand and I'm kind of like messing around with it a bit. Or one thing that somebody pointed out to me, I don't think I've done it in a while.
Who points out to you?
What?
Who points out like your flaws?
Anybody.
No.
Just somebody that I may be around quite a lot and they notice it.
Yeah. Rather than just judging you,
if I was driving, I'd have my left hand underneath my left leg for some reason, and I don't know why. Right. I didn't even notice it until it got pointed out. It's like, why are you always doing that? And then obviously you get self-conscious about stuff like that, and you try not to do it. But I didn't notice it until the other day when I did it randomly, and I was like, fuck, I've done it again, kind of thing. But no, mine's just get anxious and you do little things. I say the nose twitch, and
which a lot of people
things
do,
in your hands,
and stuff.
Fidgeting, that's the better word, yeah.
Which I think, remember shagging the bed, the leg thing.
Oh.
I do stuff like that, like
wiggling your leg. Let's just be perfectly clear there.
Bouncing the legs.
Yeah.
Like I do that so much, to be honest. I don't even notice I'm doing it. Like even when I'm eating food or something. Or I think it's when you concentrating or doing something. When I'm just chilling like this, I won't necessarily do it. But when you're like watching or like doing it, like my leg will start going. But I don't know. And like it's similar to you. It's like overthinking or having too much of an imagination at times that I'll just zone out.
Yeah. Yeah.
So.
The whole leg twitching thing really pisses me off. When anybody does it, I could just see out of the corner of my eye and it fucks me off so much.
It's not too bad if it's more visible, but when it starts, like, if you're doing it and your chair's like going, you're not noticing it though. I don't know. It's weird.
No, you don't notice it yourself, but other people do, yeah.
Because you're generally not noticing you're doing it until someone said it and then it's just instantly there, like, what the fuck. But yeah.
Right.
There we go. Just thought we may as well personalise it a little bit. Or social anxiety, start viewing the weather app. Let's check my emails.
Moving on. So it'll be new music, probably brought to you by Chiron, but maybe by somebody else. in a different video and probably audio quality. So
I'll be trash.
insert new music here. This week's new music is Palace, All We've Ever Wanted, Brennan Savage, Tears, Daughter, Swim Back, Wiz Khalifa, Snoop Dogg, Don't Call, Cal Scrubby, Some People, Oliver Tree and David Guetta, Here We Go Again, Fred Again, The Streets, Dermont Kennedy, Mike, Desert Island Duvet, Daily J, Slush Honey Side A, Nicki Minaj, Reds, Ruby, Sleaze, Slow Tie, Ugly, M Hunt Show, Conspiracy Charges, Lucy Spraggan, OCD, Just Jack, That Was Now, Six Lack, Since I Have a Lover, Milky Chance, Living in a Haze, Macklemore, Ben, Fontaine's DC, Cello Song, Sneakaboo, The Lost Files, Dimitri Vegas and Like Mike, Neo and Dana, Paula, Mexico, The Lathams, From Nothing to a Little Bit More, Bones, Eddie Barker, Yellowstone, and Connor Price, Swing. Cool, thank you. And that was new music, I hope.
Well, hopefully, yeah. If
not us just sat there.
It might have just been Kyle again. So.
It might have just been, it might have just been me sitting there staring at the camera, and that's it. So.
Well, we'll keep it.
I don't think I need to go for facts because mine was about. Well, it's kind of like we've kind of discussed it anyway. It's like,
fact is bad habit.
It's
what
kind
is
of
a bad habit?
Yeah, what you've been on about at the start. But I do have a joke, and technically it's about a bad habit. So I would just like to state that this is only a joke, and at no point should this be done. So how do you stop a bad habit?
Killing yourself.
Eat a cyanide pill.
Fuck's sake. Knew you'd be the same fucking wavelength, isn't it?
Oh, dear. I did have another joke, but I can't say it. It's not podcast friendly. So
Fuck's sake. Do not do that. But I think it's
jokes.
Like what he said, you're always going to have a habit. You just got to try and make it less shit.
If it's something that's like menial, it doesn't really matter, then it doesn't matter so much. But if it's like a bigger thing, like you can say alcoholism, smoking, drugs, even like bad eating, that kind of thing, then it is good to kind of try and figure out a way to get yourself over it.
Fun fact, actually, whilst we're on the fact, your best chance of quitting smoking is 20 minutes after your last cigarette.
I mean, yeah, you would have quit smoking for 20 minutes. Sorted.
But how long? I don't know how effective that is. It's just a random fact, that's all.
Cool.
But there we go.
Right, on to socials.
So, find us on all streaming platforms under the SoulInsights podcast. Please leave us a rating and review. Socials, Twitter, SI Index, TikTok, Instagram, SoulInsights Index, and YouTube, SoulInsights.
Cool. If you've got any bad habits or weird habits or jokes habits, let us know.
Yes.
And thanks for tuning in.
Toodaloo.